Most people are taught the same thing about money from a very young age. Your parents tell you, your teachers tell you, the banks tell you. Go to school, get a good job, save your money. This advice is common. People believe it is the safe and responsible way to manage their finances. Saving money is a good habit for emergencies. It provides a cushion when life becomes difficult. It gives you a sense of security. But it is important to understand a fundamental truth that the wealthy know. Saving cash in a bank account is not how most people become rich. The rich play a different game with different rules. The wealthy do not work hard just to pile up cash in a savings account. Instead, they use their money as a tool. They use it to buy or create things that generate more money. These things are called assets. They understand how to use debt, which is also known as leverage, to multiply their returns. They also understand how to navigate systems, the tax code, financial markets that most people do not even know exist. This essay will pull back the curtain on these hidden rules. It will explain the real difference between saving money and building wealth. It will show you the simple yet powerful concepts the rich use every day. And it will offer clear, actionable steps for the average person to start building real financial security. The idea that saving is the key to wealth is a myth. It is a myth that keeps many people financially stuck. These two activities sound similar, but they are worlds apart in their financial impact. Saving is the act of putting money aside and not spending it. You might put it in a savings account, a certificate of deposit, or even hide it under your mattress. In all these cases, the money is largely idle. It is not working for you in any significant way. The small amount of interest you might earn from a bank is often a joke. It is almost always less than the rate of inflation, which means your saved cash is becoming less powerful every day that passes. If your bank gives you 1% interest, but inflation is 3%, your money is losing 2% of its buying power every single year. You are saving, but you are slowly becoming poorer. This is a trap that catches millions of hardworking people. An asset, on the other hand, is something you own that puts money in your pocket. An asset is an employee that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never complains. Think of a rental property that generates monthly rent checks. Think of a stock that pays you a dividend every quarter. Think of a small business you own that produces a profit. These are all examples of assets. When you buy an asset, you are not just spending money. You are converting your cash into a machine that produces more cash. The wealthy focus their energy and resources on acquiring as many of these cash-producing machines as they can. The poor and middle class focus on their income from a job. They work for money. The rich, however, focus on their asset column. They have their money work for them. A high-paying job is not a true asset because if you stop working, the money stops coming in. You are the one doing the work. A true asset generates income whether you show up to work or not. This is called passive income. Building streams of passive income from a portfolio of assets is the real secret to achieving financial freedom. Owning an asset is the first step, but the truly wealthy understand the importance of control. Control is the ability to influence the performance and outcome of your asset. When you put money in a savings account or a mutual fund, you have almost no control. The bank decides your interest rate. A fund manager you have never met decides which stocks to buy and sell. You are a passive passenger, hoping the driver takes you to the right destination. This lack of control is a significant risk. You are trusting your financial future entirely to someone else, and their interests may not align perfectly with yours. When you own an asset directly, like a piece of real estate or your own business, you are in the driver's seat. You have control. If you own a rental property, you can decide how to improve it to increase its value. You can add a coat of paint, update the kitchen, or hire a better property manager to reduce vacancies. These actions directly increase your cash flow and the property's market price. You control the rent you charge the tenants you accept, and when you decide to sell or refinance. This control gives you the power to actively create wealth, not just passively hope for it. The same principle applies to owning a business. As the owner, you control the marketing, the pricing, the products, and the people you hire. You can test new ideas, cut costs, and expand into new markets. Your decisions directly impact the profitability and value of the business. This is a level of influence you can never have when you simply buy a few shares of a massive corporation. Control allows you to solve problems and add value, and in the world of money, adding value is how you get paid. This is why many wealthy individuals prefer tangible assets like real estate and private businesses. One of the most powerful tools in the wealthy person's toolbox is leverage. In simple terms, leverage is the use of borrowed capital to increase the potential return of an investment. Most people are taught that debt is bad. They are told to avoid it at all costs. The rich, however, know that there are two kinds of debt: good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is what you use to buy liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. Fancy cars, expensive vacations, designer clothes bought on a credit card. Good debt is what you use to buy assets, things that put money in your pocket. Here is a simple example of how leverage works with good debt. Let's say you have $20,000. You could use it to buy $20,000 worth of stock. If the stock goes up by 10%, you have made $2,000. That is a 10% return on your money. Now, let's use leverage. Instead of buying stock, you use that same $20,000 as a down payment on a $100,000 rental property. The bank lends you the other $80,000. This is leverage. You are using the bank's money. Now, if that property's value increases by the same 10%, the property is worth $110,000. Your gain is $10,000. Because you only invested $20,000 of your own money, your return is a massive 50%. You made 5 times more money with the exact same increase in value. This is the magic of leverage. It allows you to control a large, expensive asset with only a small amount of your own money. The bank is your partner. They provide the bulk of the capital, and you provide the management and control. The income from the asset, the rent from the tenant, pays for the debt service to the bank, and hopefully leaves you with positive cash flow each month. You are using other people's money, OPM, to build your asset column and your personal wealth. This is a concept that is rarely, if ever, taught in schools, yet it is responsible for creating more millionaires than almost any other strategy. Of course, leverage is a double-edged sword. It magnifies gains. It also magnifies losses. If the value of the property in our example went down by 10%, your loss would also be magnified. This is why financial education is so critical. The rich know how to use leverage wisely. They buy assets in good locations. Beyond assets and leverage, another major factor that separates the wealthy from everyone else is access. The wealthy have access to systems, deals, information that the average person never sees. These are not necessarily secret societies, but rather networks and structures designed to help capital grow. This includes access to better banking relationships, specialized legal and tax advice, access to exclusive investment opportunities. When you have significant capital, doors open for you that remain closed to others. This creates a powerful cycle where wealth begets more opportunities to create wealth. For example, banks treat their wealthy clients very differently. An average person with a few $1,000s in a savings account might have to beg for a small loan. A high net worth individual, however, will have a private banker assigned to them. This banker's job is to find ways to lend the client money at the most favorable rates possible. The bank wants to put its money to work with people who have a proven track record managing assets. This preferential access to cheap capital gives the wealthy a massive advantage when it comes to acquiring new properties or businesses. Furthermore, the wealthy have access to better deals. Many of the most profitable investments are not available on the public market. These are private placements, early-stage venture capital funds, off-market real estate deals. To even hear about these opportunities, you often need to be an accredited investor, a legal designation that requires a certain level of income or net worth. This system effectively reserves the highest potential investments. The individual concepts of owning assets using leverage having access are powerful on their own, but when they are combined, their effect becomes exponential. This is the power of compounding advantage. We often hear about compound interest, where the interest you earn starts earning its own interest. This is a slow process in a savings account, But when you apply compounding to assets, leverage access, wealth can be built at a truly astonishing rate. A small advantage repeated over and over in a favorable system grows into a massive fortune over time. Consider two individuals starting their careers. Person A follows conventional advice. They get a good job. They work hard. They diligently save 10% of their income. They put money in a savings account. They put money in a 401k. Person B also gets a good job. They save aggressively for a few years to buy their first asset, a small duplex. They live in one unit. They rent out the other. The rental income helps pay the mortgage. That's leverage. After a few years, the property has appreciated. The loan has been paid down. They now have equity. Understanding these concepts is the first step, but knowledge without action is useless. Many people feel overwhelmed, thinking this game is only for the rich, but the principles can be applied by anyone, starting on a small scale. The goal is to shift your mindset and your habits away from being a consumer and saver toward being an owner and investor. True financial security does not come from a pile of cash. It comes from owning a system of assets that generates cash for you. Here are some simple, practical steps a regular person can take to begin this journey. First, build your foundation of safety. Saving is not for getting rich, but it is crucial for security. Before you invest, you must have an emergency fund. This should be 3 to 6 months worth of your basic living expenses, kept in a liquid savings account. This is your parachute. It protects you from having to sell your assets at a bad time if you lose your job or have an unexpected medical bill. Do not touch this money for investments. It is your defense. Once your defense is in place, you can start building your offense, your asset column. Second, increase your financial education. You are doing that right now by reading this. But do not stop here. Read books on investing, real estate, business. Listen to podcasts and watch videos from people who are successfully doing what you want to do. Learn the language of money, cash flow, ROI, cap rate, depreciation. The more you learn, the more opportunities you will begin to see all around you. The advice to save your money is not bad advice. It is simply incomplete. It is a piece of a much larger puzzle. Saving money provides a buffer against life's uncertainties and builds a foundation of safety. It is a responsible first step. However, it is a defensive financial strategy. For the vast majority of people who achieve significant wealth, saving cash is not the engine that drives them to financial freedom. It is the starting block, not the entire race. The real engine of wealth creation is built from a different set of materials. Owning assets, having control, using leverage, gaining access to better systems. The core idea is a fundamental shift in perspective. You must move from thinking like an employee, thinking like a consumer, to thinking like an owner, thinking like an investor. An employee trades time for money. A consumer trades money for liabilities that lose value. An owner, by contrast, uses money to acquire assets that generate more money. This change in mindset is the most critical asset you can ever acquire. It allows you to see the world through a different lens, to recognize opportunities where others see only expenses, and to understand that true wealth is measured not in dollars saved, but in cash flow from assets. This path is not a secret reserved for an elite few. The principles of buying assets that produce cash flow, using good debt to control larger assets, consistently reinvesting the profits, can be applied at any scale. If this reframed your assumptions, please like and share. Wealth psychology. Assets, not savings. Hidden rules.